Just Dylan got out of surgery yesterday, and talked to him last night. Seems like he's in good spirits and everything went well. Gunnar Gatula got out of surgery yesterday as well, and was in good spirits. I saw him; he was in the training room this morning. So both surgeries were successful, and we're hoping and wishing those guys speedy recoveries. So.
Did Dylan in particular have any impact on the week before the surgery, talking to the team or being around?
I think he was a great teammate. Talked to the team in the team meeting. He's hoping he can get back here tomorrow. Our travel plans are very up in the air right now because of the government shutdown and how that might affect air travel. So we're kind of in some meetings right now trying to figure out when we can fly out there. But I know he wanted to be back here if he could before we took off, just to say goodbye to the guys.
Is there a significance for him going to New York for the surgery? Dylan?
Significance in terms of
just like a certain specialist that
oh yeah, I'm sorry, yeah no he someone that the family had a relationship with. He's at the hospital, special surgery, and our doctors here are awesome. They facilitated all that. They knew each other, so they worked together with the Giants. So
how much has Elijah Bishop been able to get done in practice?
He's been full all week. Yeah, he's good.
How about Turner?
He's been full. Yep.
TJ had mentioned that the offensive line were some of the guys, the core guys that reached out to him and were texting him support. What does it mean, I guess, for somebody in TJ's position to have an offensive line and do that for him?
Yeah, I think anytime you're going to undertake something big, it's nice to know that you don't have to do it alone. When you feel like you're doing something on your own, it puts tremendous pressure and strain. When you feel like you're a part of a group that's going to go do something, it provides joy that you get to be a part of it. And so, even out there at practice today, we're out there in helmets and spiders, and Dane makes a diving catch in the end zone. Like, I'm not used to seeing guys dive in spiders, and not in pads, but I think there's a focus around making sure that everybody does their job at a high level. And I think we all are excited, not just like, hey, we're going to support TJ. We're excited for TJ, and we want to see him go out there and play. Eric Crouch was out at practice today, and he was talking to TJ like, "Hey, let it rip, man." So I think we're excited to see what he can do.
When you've had freshman quarterbacks have to step in the past, what are some things that you like to see early on in a game that the guys settling in and looking comfortable?
Yeah, I played a freshman quarterback at Temple my first year. I played a freshman quarterback at Baylor. I played a freshman quarterback here last year. I just think part of it is as a coaching staff, doing the things that they're most comfortable with. Maybe not the best play for this coverage, but the best play for that person. I think TJ's unbelievably adept in this offense. Thankfully, he was here this spring. He has a really good feel for it. We've given him reps all year long. He's played in a couple games. You can go out there and say, hey, don't turn the ball over, don't do this, don't do that. And then he'll play a game of don'ts. We're gonna go play. And to me, this is an amazing opportunity for our team to just let it rip and go play. And so I'm excited for him.
What have you seen out of him just in terms of being a leader and kind of going from the number 2 guy to the guy?
Yeah, I think that he just has to play. We don't. He does. We have tremendous leadership. We have captains. We have a ownership group that kind of like our unity council. They're the ones. Leaders insert themselves into a point of friction. When there's stress and when there's friction, leaders step up and run into that void. And so, my whole thing with TJ is just play ball, man. Like, the best thing he can do is lead by being in the meeting room, by taking extra reps. He came up to me after Tuesday. And, we do good on Tuesdays. Call it team compete. He said, hey, Coach, can we get that on Wednesday, please? I want a couple more fast live reps. And so, just the fact he's willing to say that to me and ask that to me is awesome. It shows maturity. And, what I'll say is, coming out of Orange Lutheran, coming out of the conference he played in, he came here very prepared for all this. He's a grateful young man. He's humble, but he's confident. And so I think the other guys will pick up the slack in terms of all those other areas, and he'll just hear the play call, execute the play call. And I like what Dana's done. Like, they haven't dumbed it down, man. He's got checks, he's got things built in, he's got all kinds of things. It's like, hey, we're gonna go play quarterback.
With Dylan not having been physically present the last couple of days, who on offense, whose voice is kind of filled?
Yeah, I thought the receiving core. Ja'Cory is really one of the heartbeat type guys on our offense. Isaiah, Dane, I'm kind of, I like to, during practice, I like to go to the defensive field and watch the defensive practice and then watch the offensive practice on tape and then the defensive practice on tape. And I bounce back and forth, but as I walked over to the offensive field a lot, they had unbelievable energy. I mean, yelling, screaming, talking trash, having fun. Obviously, our offensive line, those guys are, they have leadership throughout them. But I thought, those guys and, Emmett, Luke, we have so many guys that are just respected. I just think everyone's to embrace the idea of no one has to do this. We all just have to do just a little bit more to make sure we take the strain off of TJ. So, when he makes a throw, we got to win a 50-50 ball. We got to make a catch. We got to make those plays. The defense has to get the stop and flip the field for us. Special teams have to show up. And if we all take that approach, we have a good chance.
With TJ's added mobility, is there any extra emphasis or talk just about sliding or protecting yourself just so he can make it through the entire game?
Yeah, those guys are already trained on those things. I really struggle with adding things in week 10. You know what I mean? So the biggest thing that showed up last game was the ball was punched out of his hands twice as he was running to the sidelines. You had the ball in the inside arm and the right hand, and it was punched out. And so, you can't over rep that, or else you'll have a sore arm all week. But getting him to understand that, hey, there'll be times in this game where you're going to run probably, and ball security is paramount. Kind of going back to your question, hey, but what I don't want to do is start putting things in his head. Just do what you're trained to do. I mean, that's so much what good teams do and good players do is they just trust themselves. They have the poise to believe in themselves and not try to be more than they are, not try to do too much, not try to do too little. TJ's a really, 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 really excellent player. I just want to go be himself. But that being said, we teach our guys when to slide, when to dive head first, how to protect themselves going out of bounds. He just has to apply that training.
During UCLA's 3-game winning streak last month, what changed for them outside of the obvious with the coach? From a football perspective, was there a big shift that they made?
Yeah, it looked like they really started to use the quarterback's legs. It looked like maybe they simplified the offense. They've taken chances. They faked punts. I think they faked 3 punts. I said 4 the other day, but one was just a slow knee, so three punts. But the quarterback is the leading passer. He's also the leading rusher. Now, that's not in every game. Some of the games, they've gotten to some zone reads, and the tailbacks have hit big, long, explosive runs, and they're converting a ton of third downs now. And I think the third down really has been the magic for them. There was an 18-play drive. They think they completed 3 or 4 of them, and the quarterback can do it. He's an outstanding player. He can do it with his feet as much as his arms. So if you play zone coverage, he'll find the holes. If you play man coverage, he's going to duck the ball down and run. He outruns people's, they have a rat on him, a spy on him. He outruns the guy. So it's a great week for our D-line. They have to produce, they have to show up, and they have to pass rush. And the challenge when you go against a mobile quarterback is sometimes guys start to just latch on and try to keep him in the pocket. Well, that's no way to play football, right? You have to get off and beat the guy in front of you and then transition your eyes to the quarterback and accelerate. And so I know it's been an emphasis this week. It's been an emphasis all year, mobile quarterbacks versus us. And we'll have to play our best game, especially coming off last week. We had to have a player accounted for the quarterback on every single play. Sometimes people ask me about the count. Well, they're reading the backside of the counter, so I'm sure we'll see some of that. So, it's a challenge anytime you have a running quarterback and you're in zone read with gap schemes and zone schemes, and they have all of it. So the good news for us is it's 2 weeks in a row of dealing with it, and hopefully we can put it all together.
Some of the
travel to UCLA might be affected by the shutdown. Is there anything imminent right now, or are you just kind of waiting and see if that'll affect your guys' travel?
No, Susan and them are going to get on a call here in a little bit because they called us today and said, hey, it probably will be or could potentially be affected. So if we, I just told our guys, hey, what's next, man? If we got to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, as opposed to leaving later in the day, then so be it. If we got to wake up on Saturday and fly there and land and drive over and play, at the end of the day, the game, no one wants to hear about your troubles, and it's football. So we're going to show up and play football to the best of our abilities. But I do think, yes, things are pretty imminent. I just don't think we know exactly what that is, and that's, I'm glad I'm not dealing with it. Thankful for Susan, Haven, and Wish, and Thomas, and all those guys, because she'll get on the call and she'll figure out the best thing for us, and we'll just go do it.
With the late kick, you guys had an 8 o'clock body clock kick. in August too. Anything you learned from that one way or the other that'll be helpful as you kind of kill a day Saturday?
I mean, I thought we played really good in the Cincinnati game. I thought we played really poorly in the Minnesota game. I thought we played really well last week. You know, at the end of the day, it's really all about your mind, right? Your mindset. You know what I mean? If you're ready to play, and what I want is I want people to watch this game and say that's a team that cares about each other. You know, I mean, I as I said the other day, either you're in or you're out, right? And so I want you to see a team that goes on the road no matter what time we leave, enjoys being together, enjoys sitting in their hotel rooms, enjoys going to a walkthrough, enjoys going to battle against another excellent team, knows that it's going to be. I mean, think about the character of the UCLA team, right? They're 0-3. They fire their coach, who was a player there, a great player there, who they all love, who I coached and I respect, and they've just come together and hung in there together, right? And so, I want to see a team that cares about each other. So, I look at it like, hey, the late kick gives you more time together. So, I think that's been my message, and especially poignant seeing the tragic news out of Dallas today, and seeing. Understanding that none of us know what people are going through. That's why I think we all should be careful about what we say to people. I think we should be careful what we tweet about people. I think we should be cognizant of what everyone's going through. And I told our players they should take their headphones off in the cafeteria and sit down with someone and be like, "How you doing, man? What's going on with you?" Because somebody that we're talking to, that we're saying, "What's wrong with that guy? Man, that guy's messed up." Instead of saying what's wrong with him, we should all say, "I wonder what happened to him," because everyone's suffering. And so I look at these opportunities, everyone's kind of, everyone's, going through something. We're going to go on the road together, man. It's just a chance for us all to come together and be a team and unite together and spend time together. And, I think it's a good opportunity for us. But I have to, I send my condolences. Obviously, it's just awful news. But you also know at the same time, I've given the eulogy for players of mine who've had the same thing happen, and so it's just you never know what people are going through, and I will forever the rest of my life think about the time that I saw Adrian Robinson right before he took his own life, and I saw him on campus, and I was walking this way and he was way over there, and I was like, I need to catch up with Adrian because he had got done playing, and a week later he left this world, and a month later I was given the eulogy. And I just wish in my life I could go back and just stop and say, hey, how you doing? And so it's not really what you asked, but it's on my heart. And I just share it with the team. Like, I just think it's a time in this world for us to be kind to people and at the same time care about people and ask about people. Our generation of kids, my kids, they all just say, yeah, I'm fine, I'm straight. And it's just like you really got to unearth it. So I look at road trips and travel, and I look at time together practice as chances to impact young people's lives and try to be around them. And I would encourage everybody to. I would encourage everybody today with your own kids or the people you work with, just check on them because, that young man scored a touchdown just a couple days ago. And on the outside world, you'd think he's at the pinnacle, but he's dealing with something, and I don't know what it was, but I pray for him and his family. So, that's the weight of coaching young people today. And, they're going through a lot, way more than I went through growing up. So, just a sad story, but sad fate. And again, I pray for him. But I also know there's probably someone on my team going through something very similar. And so, in what ways can I be there for them? Can we all be there for them? I think that's the blessing we have of having another week together. So I'm grateful for it. I've challenged our guys all week to be great teammates. To rally together, to come together, and not just for TJ, but for every single guy on this team, and for the guys even that aren't on the trip, that are home, just be there for everybody. So that's what we're trying to build, and it's maybe old school and kind of it's not in vogue anymore. Everything's about the transfer portal and rev share, but I still think young people probably need people that care about them. So that's never more evident today. So thank you guys. I hope you guys are all well as well. Good to see you.